Hey, did you know we're also on Spotify? You can listen to No Offsides on Spotify while you're busting out reps in the gym, driving to your next tournament, mowing the lawn to gain brownie points with your wife because you're always gone at tournaments, or while you're getting in some much needed shooting and stick handling practice. So if you're into multitasking, make sure to follow us on Spotify, where you can listen to all of our awesome content on the Spotify app. What's up, Rink Rats? It's Woody. I'm here to tell you that this week's episode is brought to you by Champion Hockey. If you're looking for quality wheels, sticks, bags, and apparel, then look no further. Champion Hockey has everything you need to look and play like a champion. Check out top-of-the-line Legacy Series sticks and wheels and upgrade your game without breaking the bank. Go to champion.hockey to purchase your gear now, and make sure to check out Champion on Instagram at Champion Hockey to stay updated with products and events. Champion Hockey. Look like a champion.
No offside.
Welcome back to a doubleheader episode to No Offsides podcast, sponsored by Champion Hockey. I'm Dan Dean here with my partner Justin Wood.
What's that?
Our guest today is a D1 D2 National Championship roller player with Slippery Rock and played for the AAU Team USA in Hong Kong. He's also the man in the mullet. We'd like to welcome him to today's show, Michael Gonzo Gonzalez. How you doing, man?
Let's go, boys. Good intro, but played for Farmingdale there.
Oh!
Well, that was actually a test.
Yeah,
we wanted to make sure you remembered.
Yeah, well, you got to be on your toes, at all times. Listen.
There we go.
That was good. I love it.
All right. Just got the text. Chris just texted me. I'm fired. All right. See you guys.
Yeah, I'll let him know. You're a good guy. Dan, come on. We all make mistakes. I'm happy to be here, man. I appreciate the invite here, and ready to let it fly with the boys.
Yeah, man. You came as an elected person. We put out a post saying, who do you want to see on here? And you got like couple different nominations, so here we go.
I guess the crowd loves me, huh?
They must.
It's got to be the wig. I think when you start looking at the wig, when it starts coming through.
Wait, this one's a wig?
It looks like it, right? Like, imagine.
I was like, wait, what?
Oh, imagine. Oh my God. It's like, you know what I get sometimes when I go to like a hotel, like people start like looking at you when you come out of the pool and they're like, is that a visor with a wig? Oh.
Oh man. So you came on camera before, right? And you're on crutches, man. What's going on?
Yeah. When I look back at it, 30 and over is no joke. Those guys can really, let's put it this way. They work 9 to 5 and they come really angry when they get to skate safe. So basically caught a guy, lacking, and got behind the defense, went on the goalie, made a move, and all of a sudden I just feel a 250-pound man dive Superman into the back of my knee. And we finished the game, warrior status, but that was brutal. It's been 9 weeks,
Did anything ensue after the guy landed on you?
I do more with the stick,
All right. I wasn't sure if we had some names that are on your team, right? For the Wheel Talk Whalers, and so I'm just curious if any of them stepped in and just decided like, hey man, that's our boy.
Yeah, that's it was the worst part about it. It was 30 and over for like men's league, but the boys, man. To speak about the Whalers, man, those two kids, Dylan and Brady Morzalek. I mean, I'm sure you heard of their father, Zicky, like back in the day. Guy played pro snipers, pro roller. So those two kids wheeling and dealing, man. I'm 30 and I'm playing with these young guys. It's ridiculous. I feel like I'm Kovalchuk, back in the day, 2012 Devils.
I thought you were going to say Kovalchuk the year he decided to leave.
Yeah, right with my knee. Yeah. But to talk about the Wheel Talk Whalers, man, just like Wheel Talk in general, man, these guys got something going. Got a couple like gold medals, championship cups under their belt for the past, couple tournaments like State Wars and whatnot. The 35 and over division, these guys are good, and then you got these young guys like, Dylan and Brady, JBR, we call him, James Van Uren. Peter Bezos, Chris Hoysick, and then the old guys like Nick Lang, Dougie Sheeler, Detective Dougie Sheeler. When he sees this, he'll like that. But we got something going, and the best part about it is like, buddy, why play double A? Why play pro when you could play single A and just wheel and deal?
There you go.
Kidding me? You stay healthy. It's not too hard. You're walking away with a gold.
All right, and if you love this show, then you will also love the College Roller Foundation. The College Roller Foundation is a volunteer-run, tax-exempt 501c3 nonprofit organization that exists solely to raise and distribute funds to deserving college roller hockey student athletes in the form of scholarships. The College Roller Foundation isn't a tournament series, league, championship, governing body, or sanctioning agency, but rather works with partners to host events to raise and distribute all those dollar bills to roller players who also like to get their academia on. By raising money through donations and divvying out these scholarships to the players, the College Roller Foundation seeks to grow the game of roller in college. And if you're interested in finding more info, helping out, or donating, please visit www.collegerollerfoundation.com and make sure to follow them on Instagram at College Roller Foundation. College Roller Foundation, growing the roller game one scholarship at a time. It's time to join a revolution in roller with US Roller Cup, a premier roller hockey tournament series. The US Roller Cup is led by a passion for the sport. US Roller Cup is driven to create an unparalleled experience for players, fans, and coaches alike. With a focus on promoting roller hockey at all levels from youth to professional, we are committed to growing the game and fostering a sense of community within the roller hockey world. To find out more information, find tournaments near you, or to sign up for an upcoming tournament, go to www.usrollercup.com and be sure to follow USRC on Instagram at US Roller Cup. US Roller Cup, a revolution in roller.
And then, does Wheel Talk have the Tardino, special when he comes in and every now and then plays for you, or?
Yeah, he's like, Big T is like, he's like a wild animal. You see out in the wilderness, and like, you get too close, he might bite, so you got to keep your distance, But talking about Big T, I got stories for days about this guy. Okay, as we speak, the guy's texting me AI pictures of himself in suits, having a glass of wine, playing chess, and it's all AI. I'm like, buddy, what's going on? What is happening? But he's unreal. He would come over my house, right? I'd have a fridge full of food, chips, leftovers, bagel bites, Tostitos. And the guy comes over and he eats everything. My dad comes home. He's like, what's going on? Do you got a stomach problem? And he's like, nah, I'm 6'5". Guys got to eat. It's unreal. And you guys probably brought him up like on the pod before. Have you seen his equipment?
Oh, yeah.
The guy wears oven mitts for gloves. Right? And then his bucket's like from 1980s, got like the Timo Solani going with the old bucket. But it's
soccer
unreal,
the soccer shin guards.
I don't know how he does it. And when he turns it on, he's got the goods. He's the real deal.
Oh, yeah.
But you guys should have seen him in ice. I mean, he was on the fourth, fifth line for Canisius in Division I. And, work ethic, and he just wanted to, mess around and stuff,
He's a partier.
So, he's a party. The guy loves to party. The guy loves to party. He's unreal. He's if you want to have a good time, you hit up T.
Yeah,
He'll kick you out of a group chat.
Every tournament we see him take pictures and put it on social media, and it's just his favorite thing is beer pong.
Bro, this guy's elite. I mean, look at his wingspan. It's like 55 inches. All right, probably more. He's unreal.
So how did you get involved with all the Wheel Talk guys?
So it goes back it goes back to just like playing at skates age. All the guys are ripping open hockey. You got guys who are playing different divisions, and then you start creating teams like, with the local house teams. And then, you take them, on the road. But, Wheel Talk really, it all started with, Dino Verone and Scotty Sloan. Those guys, I think they were like skating around New York City. They had like a camera or whatever. I think George Liapis was there. These guys in Long Island would know the names. And they were like, it was during COVID. So they were just like filming them skating and like kind of, letting it fly and like content. And when I saw the footage, they were like, or rather when they saw the footage, they, if they had a better cameraman, they could set something up. And when the pandemic was over, they basically hired like a legit crew. They got youth programs now with youth snipers and ice. I mean, Scotty refs always at the rink, right? So, Wheel Talk in general, I mean, the program's unbelievable. I mean, you see the gear, they flood you with gear, Call myself a sponsored athlete with the gear, but not on the rink, eh?
Hell yeah.
We got the crotch repping the Wheel Talk right here.
Love it.
But they're unreal. They got something really going. I mean, I want them to kind of bring back pro beach hockey. I know you guys are familiar with that too.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, they pump out content constantly, right? And we're always, they're tagging us in it, we're sharing it. It's great stuff. We get to see, it's, when you look at the content, the mainstream, it's usually pro teams, whatever. They're doing everyone. They're hitting up double A, they're hitting up single A. If they caught something sick, they're putting it out there.
Yeah, literally. It's nice to be a part of something like with your buddies too, And that goes for like every brand. Like you see like Champion, like they have their, their own style, their own line, their own teams, right? And whatnot. But I think Wheel Talk, I really think they're next up.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
The pro team Wheel Talk.
Oh, sorry. Go.
No, they say the Wheel Talk pro team with Tardino as the captain.
Yeah, Big T, man. He's just. I can talk about him all day. I got stories for days. I mean, what about there was one trip we went on, and he's like on 4 Red Bulls. The guy's fired up, and just goal after goal after goal, and he's just like, yeah, I'm just doing this for fun. At this point, like I don't even need you guys. He would tell us, I don't even need you. I'm like, buddy, you need a team to win. I don't need you. I need you guys for it. It's like, what's going on here?
That's actually hilarious.
He's nuts.
Okay, I'm going to go back to it. You've done mic'd up a few times. We're talking about doing content. You've done mic'd up before. You seem like a guy who definitely likes talking, so I feel like you're the right person to mic up. What were some highlights about that for you?
It's funny. It was nuts because like they were like, before the tournament, I was like, oh, we're winning. There's no doubt about it. You look at the roster, you look at these young guys, you look like we're calling ourselves vets, but we're like 30. But the guys that we're playing with, they're like 19, 20, 21, so they got wheels. So I'm like, oh, we're winning. Every game. We're gonna win every game. And we just kept winning every game, right? And then we had a funny story. The guys will like this. We were down 4-1 to the Trash Pandas. You see those guys, they throw a lot of content. They were like playing with like Merzlikins or whatever, like a couple weeks back. And we were down 4-1, and they're like a double-A team. So are we, right? But like, again, Sandbag Kings, baby. No reason to play a higher division when you know you can win. So I was just out there. I just got a minus. I'm like, I'm really down. I'm like, geez, we need to win out to make the top division. It's like 40 teams. And all of a sudden I come back to the bench and I kind of like lose my balance because it's like a long bench, but no like back support. And I'm sitting by the emergency exit. So I go to sit down and I flip back out and I lock myself out of the rink. And the whole bench is cracking up, and they're like, where's Gonzo? And I'm like banging on the door. I lock myself. I'm like, let me in. And, dude, I swear, there was footage, but Flinner over in PA didn't want to show us the footage so I could take him to court, so he kept that away. But we came back and won. We won the game 5-4. And then we just kept wheeling. And then the next thing you know, we won the the championship in single A. But being mic'd up, back to what you were saying, dude, I love to chirp, but then you can't play. You're so tired from chirping. Like you could hear in the video, like I'm like, all right, boys, put another one in. And I'm dying out there. But there was one guy, if you go on Real Talk Hockey, you look at the video, like the Gonzo mic'd up or whatever, there was one guy who was wearing a girdle. And then I lost it. I was like, there's no way. There's no way, bud. We're losing to a guy with a girdle on the rink. I was like, no. But
it's almost disrespectful to not wear pants.
Yeah, like, what are you doing, buddy? You seem like a great guy. It might be a great guy to go to lunch with. Maybe he gets invited to Thanksgiving dinner. Who knows?
Yeah.
But to wheel and deal on a girdle, bud, that's a tough look.
But you know what's worse than that, right? Shoulder pads.
Shoulder pads.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if he had the shoulders on, but it was nuts, man. It was nuts.
That could be a good video that you can We'll talk into. You go out there with shoulder pads on and play a game.
Oh, that would be nuts. People would be chirping me. I'm already getting chirped for the wig, right? But what's it called? The best part about the whole mic'd up situation at the end of the video, there was a fight. And Detective Dougie Sheeler was chirping the goalie. They were going back and forth like kind of all game. And he takes the puck Dougie doesn't pass the puck, right? 2-on-1, he's shooting. So you're just crashing that there. So Dougie goes like on the 2-on-1. I'm waiting for the biscuit. I'm like, oh, I'm open. Here we go. You can hear me on camera. Oh, here we go. Dougie keeps the puck. He wraps around the net. Goalie grabs him by the neck. Dougie grabs him by the neck. And they start going at it. And then I get in there. You can hear me going, I'm going in. And then some guy choked me out. I was getting choked out. I'm like, all right, I'm done. I can't take it anymore. I'm done.
It's next level fight to get choked.
It's too much. It's too much.
That's like that guy was like, he wasn't having any of it. He was just going to put you out.
I know, it's unreal. But back to, again, being mic'd up, like another Real Talk, like idea, and there's so many characters on the team that anybody could wear the mic and have a good time, let it fly and whatnot. So.
Well, I think it's pretty sweet that you come from the whole Skate Safe team because, we talk to West Coast people. They have their community. Talk to East Coast. Skate Safe is one of those, like, that's the East Coast hub.
It's unreal, man. It's like a big family, and this is going back, like, playing open hockey, getting a ride to the rink, meeting like 4 or 5 guys out there who are the same age, right? Like 11, 12, 13, 14 years old. And you'd always have to rely on like, one of the wealthier guys who were at Open Skate to like order pizza for the crew, but we were younger. So like they would have like $20 and like we place an order. So it all started like playing there and like meeting friends. And like, you're right, dude. It's like a big family, and the East Coast hub really is Skate Safe. I mean, going back to like when I was younger, playing like island-wide, like high school, like playing for your high school was like unreal, And then you had guys like John Chavo scoring 8 goals a game. And the guy was like, I'm like, oh, this guy's going to make it, And credit to him. I mean, he's made it further than all of us. Guys playing minor league basically, that's unreal. And he was like one of the guys, like when we were younger, like, holy smokes, man, like this guy could do it. He's unbelievable. I mean, the guy would stay on the rink after hours and, really devoted a lot of his time to, try to, make the show. So.
That's awesome.
Well, now he's in the gym for like 12 hours a day.
I like his videos. Some of his videos are great too. He goes against like an amateur goal. He lights him up with like an old twig. That's pretty cool. So he's got some good content.
Yeah.
Like I
What do
think it
you?
was like, I'm sorry, yeah.
No, keep going, man.
I think it was like 2005. We were playing for like Team New York. I think this was like the only time that like Shabo was playing like a lower division, right? The guy's like 13 years old, and just lighting the lamp. And it was all the way in Chicago. And as you get older, you start to appreciate your parents a lot more. And Dad drove 16 hours to go play State Wars, like in a Honda, whatever, like a 2000 or 1999, whatever the hell it was. But it's just like sacrifices like that just to play, like just some roller with like the boys. It's like you don't realize how much your parents are sacrificing at the time. And credit to Johnny's parents too. I remember they were basically at every game, no matter where it was, and that was really cool to see. Like to have that support.
Yeah, definitely. How do you think? How do you think the? I was talking about West Coast and East Coast kind of being the two main hubs for roller, Northeast specifically. What do you think is like the big cultural differences between the two?
It's a good question. It's actually a really good question. I played in Cali a few times, like back in like 2014. I don't know if you guys ever saw like they had like an all plexiglass rink in San Jose, so that was pretty cool. I think the vibe was more of like just like West Coast people were just like more laid back, and like I felt like East Coast was more like run and gun, so to speak, like on the rink, right?
Let's be honest here. All the fuck, because I mean, I'm from Jersey, right? So all the Northeast guys are just fucking angry guys running around the rink. They want to fucking rip someone's head off every game. And then you got Cali, and then they're just, whether they're high or not, they're just that's their vibe.
Literally, yeah. It's unreal to see the differences, but I really like. I think some of the best tournaments, honestly, are in Cali. Like that February tournament. I think it's Winter Wars in Cali. A lot of like the Wheel Talk guys had a good time last time they went up, and I missed out on that, because of work and stuff like that. But they had a great time, and they always say it's the best, And then you talk about the rinks in Irvine. I think that's where they have like the West Coast March and whatnot. And that rink's unreal too. It's like outside, like you're like wheeling and dealing, like kind of outside, or one of the rinks like that. So that's for me. That's like kind of like West Coast is like slowed down, and East Coast is like almost like run and gun because a lot of like the ice guys are wheeling and dealing on roller too.
Well, there you go. It's a good point. A lot more ice.
Definitely, yeah. Sometimes it's a bigger rink too. I mean, the best rink, in my opinion, the best rink ever, and whoever watched this could probably attest, was the Florida Gators rink in the Everglades in Fort Myers. That rink was legit. I mean, stadium seating. You look it up, it's the best. And they changed it into a roller rink.
The Narch Finals down there?
Back in the day, I'm saying it's like 2014, 2016, even like 2015, but that's like 9, 10 years ago now. It's like, where did the time go, But that's that playing like young tour roadrunners with the guys and playing like young snipers, very young. Going to that rink was like heaven. It was like making the show.
Yeah. It always feels nice to have a nice little, or like all the seating around you. It's a little bit more exciting.
Unreal.
You've got a chance to play for USA through AAU, right?
It was nuts. 2007. I mean, that's when I was good. It's like 400 years ago.
What was the age group for that team?
That age group was like 12 and 13-year-olds.
Yeah.
But the biggest guy that I have to shout out was John Mosenson. I mean, he's Mr. Team USA himself. Guy won like 20 gold medals before I was like 15 for USA, and he's still playing. But he picked. It was so cool, man. It's an experience that not a lot of people obviously were able to experience, right? It was a 24-hour flight, broken up into two 12-hour flights just to get there. So it was me and two other guys that got picked from like Skate Safe crew, like the Skate Safe family. And I think it was Danny Hurd and Anthony Sartorio, names that, guys aren't playing anymore. But we got picked, and then you get there and there's two kids from Detroit, Michigan who were nasty. They were disgusting, ice kids. And then you had one kid from California, really laid back. He had the blonde hair, cool guy, we're all 12, 13 years old. So, that was really cool to see. And then our goalie, out of all places, was from Ohio. He was a good guy, though. But out of all places, it's like attendee from Ohio. It's like it fits a perfect description, But we didn't lose a game. We went, I think it was 6-0, 7-0, top 5 in points. I was number 5, no big deal, But everyone was wearing masks back then. It was so weird. 14 years before COVID, they were wearing masks in the city because of like all the pollution. So that was nuts. And like the currency change was a big factor too. Like you go to McDonald's and the cashier lady would say like 458. And I'm like, what? And it's, obviously the currency change at 12 years old. You don't really understand that, right? So that was unreal. I still got the gold medal. And playing different teams, we played Team Britain. They had like a Korean team. Like I said, guys from the UK. They had this one kid. I still remember his name, Jordan Botfield. He played for UK. The kid was nasty. I ended up like exchanging jerseys with him. Like we took like the picture like after the game, and it was like, wow, like this is unreal. And it's, it was like a rinky-dink rink, right? I think it was like asphalt. It wasn't like the inline. It was like almost like street. We were using like almost like an outside biscuit too, And my parents couldn't even afford it, dude. So just like back to like talking about mom and dad, like that trip was probably like 8 to 9, maybe even 10 grand back in 2007, on an income where, mom and dad are barely making it. So I got to give them credit. If it wasn't for them, I'd never go. If it wasn't for Johnny Moe, I never get picked. But he led us to a gold medal, and we still talk about it today. Big Johnny Moe.
Hell yeah. Sounds like a great experience.
It was unreal, man. It was unreal.
So
I like it.
You go from Team USA to then eventually playing D1, D2, and winning national championship.
That was a wild ride. I got to give that. The D2, so funny story about the D2, we were stacked. And, back to my old saying, winners win, but you got to play the right division. No reason to play AA or pro, right? All these big wigs in the industry, they break their backs, they're tired after games. We feel great. We just won 7-1. Didn't break a sweat. But the D2 team was stacked. You had like guys like you had Tardino on the team playing D2. You had Chris Sharkey, guy would score from anywhere. Matt Catania, old rat. He was all over the corners, Chris Russolello, Long Island guys like going back. And then we won D2. And then the big test was like, we got to win D1. But how are we going to do it? You play guys like Tyler Kraft out of Newman. They were stacked. You play Lindenwood, they're stacked. And this is like, this is going back 2013 to kind of 2017, like that, those 4 years. And it's crazy how it started. I was just sitting in the lunchroom. Farmingdale didn't even have a program. And, I'm an outgoing guy, right? So a couple guys came up to me like, hey, we know you could play. We're starting up a club and, we want you to join. And I was like, all right. And then, to the first year, we had a clown show of a team. We had 10 guys. We had one guy that was 32 years old, but he was playing his 5th year eligibility, Our coach was nuts, bald guy, old school cop, so he had us all ready to go, But I'll never forget Kazaza hooked a guy in the armpit, took his arm off, took a 4-minute, and they scored for the first year. So we got eliminated in the Elite Eight. But then we came back, And, sandbag D2, obviously, Bush leagued it, but, and then D1, the only reason why we won was for two people. Okay, PJ, obviously DiMartino, Superman, and Dustin Muccio Shrimpe, the goalie. That guy was like Igor and Matt. He was unreal. But PJ, I think we had two losses going into November that year. Like the finals were like in April.
Is that the year? So is that the year that PJ went from Newman and changed schools?
We convinced them.
All right.
The boys. I didn't really have much to do with that, but I was being a locker room guy. I'm like, hey, bud, what's on the playlist? What do you want? What type of music do you like? So he was unreal. Yes, we had like two losses going into November. We didn't lose a game after that. PJ literally was there, and we went all the way to the finals and won. And it was like, all right, this guy's Superman. This guy's a real deal.
Yeah,
Where was Yeah, no, he doesn't. But where were the finals at that year? Remember?
I think it was Fort Myers. It definitely was Fort Myers in Florida.
Okay.
Another funny story about PJ. The guy was like, after we won the semis, I don't remember if it was overtime, but it was like a close tilt. And after the semis, he's like, all right, boys, we won. I'm like, what? We're in the semis. He's like, yeah, when you win like me, when you win the semis, you're going to win the finals. I'm like, dude, this guy's unreal. This guy's like, he's like a guru or a genie or something. And that's when I knew. I'm like, oh, it doesn't matter who we're playing. We could be playing 7 gods. We're going to win.
That's interesting. It's cool to have a look at him at that time in his career.
Oh, yeah, he's nuts. Playing overseas, too. Like, those guys got it. Those guys got it. But the biggest thing about Farmingdale, even after, like, the D1, the D2, national titles, like, just to bring them home, like, they went on a run. And you had guys like, like Max Alderson, playing for Farmingdale. They won, like, a couple times. Like, started off like, all right, Farmingdale's cool. Like, they got the chip.
Yeah.
PJ went there. And it's just like, if he's going there, like, we should all go. And then all the kids started coming. And then, like, us old guys are, like, phasing out. We're like, the new youth is coming in. And they just ripped it, man.
That's cool. We were just talking last night about how all these clubs start up, and it's always kind of this nice little grassroots thing. It's never like the university reaching out being like, hey, we need a roller team. It's like boys who love roller that are like, we're going to make this happen. And it's cool to see something like what you're talking about, where you guys took it, and then you can even kind of like point at the moment that kind of turned it from a startup to a successful organization. It's cool.
That's crazy, man. The ultimate score ever was playing for the ice team, because the ice team, they were not only legit, but they had we had one guy, I'll never forget him. His name's Joe Kublock. A lot of ice guys, if they watch this, they'll know. He got offered a D1 Yale scholarship and said no to play Farmingdale, which obviously in hindsight, not the best move, right? But the program had a freaking tank like that, so guys wanted to play. And then you had Joe Patrizzo, Long Island. He's all over Long Island. He was playing for the team. Everybody knows Big Joe. He's got a tattoo on his bum. I think it says hot sauce or something like that, or like hot fire. Like Long Island guys, he's nuts. But coming from, honestly, like the camaraderie for ice was nuts, because you would take like the bus trips over to like different places to play. And there was one year, I'll never forget it, dude. We asked the school for like some funding. Like, all right, we're a program, let's get some funding. And the school's like, okay, we'll try our best the first year, and then second year. And then I think it was the second year, actually, they gave the school like 80 grand or like 90 grand. We were showing up in Mercedes buses to the games. We had We had a chiropractor with us, Dr. Jeff, who still works on me today. The guy was unreal. He was like following us, home games. We had a table. We had mitts, knee pads, gloves, extra helmets. It was like being in the show. I'm playing D3 ACHA. I'm like, holy smokes, this is the dream, and it says something for ACHA back in those years, 2013 to like 2017 when I played. That program, like they had guys who could definitely play a higher level of hockey. They just couldn't afford it. They were based off of, I feel like hockey in general, like that ACHA, that D3, D2, like you can't afford, like certain guys can't afford to go to Minnesota or like these big schools, right? So they play like, a lower division of hockey to try to get noticed. And that was pretty cool to, see, guys like, I remember this guy, I think it was Larry. He goes by Larry in roller hockey. He was playing like for Kennesaw State. We were at the skills comp and the guy took a clapper and it clocked in at like 97. I'm like, I'm sitting in the stands like eating popcorn like, oh my God, I'm playing this guy? I gotta play this guy? I'm like, what? What's going on here? This is supposed to be D3 ACHA. I'm here for a good ride. I'm not, if I block one of that, I'm going to be in the hospital. What are we talking about here? So that was, even though we never got like a national title, the first year, like I was a freshman, didn't play. I was riding pine, right? I was a big roller guy. So I was riding pine, locker room guy, trying to get in the lineup. And I'll never forget it. There was like a storm that like came into Long Island, and Matty Johnson at the time, Long Island guys would know his name, nasty guy. He didn't show up. So they're like, Gonzo, first line. He was a first line stud. I'm like, oh, all right, let's roll. All right, let's get to the rink. And I think it was the first game that I got called up. I had like a couple shifts like before that, right? You play like one or two shifts, right? But I had a Hattie that game against UConn or whatever, Connecticut, University of Connecticut. And I was staying there, and I was playing like first line until he came back, and I got moved back to like the third, the fourth. But that year we played like Old Miss in national title, the national like event, and it was like unreal to like play schools like that, like big schools,
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
And Tardino was there too, right? He was there all those years. I'm just watching this guy just slug a 20-pack and then go out and skate, and then we'd go back to what we called the dojo, the Markopoulos brothers. Long Island guys would know those names. They were like the Sedines out there, two brothers. They played ice. They knew where they were like on their ice at all times. It was nuts. So we'd go back to their house, and Tardino again would be ordering chicken over rice at like 1:40 in the morning. We're like, dude, like this guy's like, he eats like a behemoth. This guy's like, it's unreal. But Farmingdale was awesome.
To be able to do. I love food personally. But hey, man, do you still pay a lot of attention to pro right now?
I'm like in and out of the loop kind of, but I did watch. I remember you guys had a pro guy recently. You guys have a lot of pro guys on, but he plays for Black Ice, tall guy. I forgot his name, but I watched Black Ice play the Roadrunners, I believe, and it was a State Wars event, and that program is just a different level, man. Those guys are nuts, but they're nasty, right? But like that type of competition, in my opinion, it should be in the Olympics. Yeah. You got breakdancing in the Olympics. Why not roller? Why not? And you see the guys who like go to like Team USA, like they go abroad, they play for the country. Those guys are filthy, like I think it's like Travis Noe, like those guys, like, those guys are legit,
Yeah. Yeah, we were just talking about that last night.
It's crazy.
You got like a couple weeks too before guys ship off to Europe and play for Worlds again, and like that's going to be a spectacle as well. That could easily be on national television.
I mean, it really should be. I really hope, somehow, I know that Pro Beach documentary is like coming out soon, but Pro Beach hockey, man, that would be unreal to bring that back, but like a legitimate like roller league.
You on to bring back the Rams?
Oh man, I don't know about that. That's a little
just
that's a little wild.
I just watched the
Yeah,
video. I watched the video of a guy ripping a clapper, and it hit the ramp, and then hit the goalie in the back and went in. And I was like, oh man, I remember that.
This is tough.
Oh, yeah.
This is tough. But you got guys like the roller hockey community, like how you say it's like so closely knit. Like I've been playing like for Tim McManus, who runs State Wars since like '04, '05. Like playing with like the young snipers and like big moguls like that in roller hockey could bring it back. Wheel Talk Hockey, right? These programs, like these individuals, Palma, right? They could do it, right? They could bring it back, and that would be unreal to kind of see that come back and have it hit TV, maybe the Olympics one day.
Do you think if we had like a central hub, like one, like say it was Wheel Talk, and they covered all the games, like State Wars, Narch, Tours, they went over and were getting international stuff, and you knew all these roller games were always going to be on there. Do you what do you think that would do for viewership and for growing the sport in general?
To having it live, I mean, that'd be unreal. Like you see, like now, like you go to live stream a game, it's kind of like, I think like one site, like you need to pay for a subscription. It's like, guys, like families like watching the game, right? Like not a lot of people are tuning in, but if you had like you said, like a hub where you could have those events and tape it, that would be unreal. That would grow the game. And roller hockey, a lot of individuals, like, the ice guys would like, roll this, roll that. But it's like a chess game, you know? You're going back with the biscuit, you're setting it up. You're not really running and gunning as if you were playing ice, so it's a totally different game,
I would say I think it's more like basketball.
It really is, honestly. It really is. Or like soccer, right? You bring the ball
I think
back.
it's more like soccer, not basketball. Because
Yeah,
you got to think of basketball. It's more or less like the only time they're really holding the ball is if they're trying to milk the clock, which is not all the time. Because if there's a guy, there's usually a lot of fast breaks in basketball. But in soccer, it's like, oh, we got nothing going forward. All right, we'll kick it all the way back to the goalie.
Yeah. Legitimately, yeah.
Yep.
That's true. I'm really proud though that I kind of like gravitated towards roller because it kind of shaped my life. The people you meet, right? The community. Guys end up. I recently ended up getting a great job opportunity because I went to State Wars and we killed it. And then you're having a couple of brewskis with the guys after the game and you start talking, and then the next thing you know, you had a job interview because of a tournament. Like, like, what happened here? But
did you buy him a beer?
Oh man, I got to buy him a lot more than that. I'm gonna have to give him the puck. We play him all the time. Big Vinny, he plays for Patrizzo's teams, Bobby's boys. But I should just turn over the puck, give him the puck, so he can go in on a breakaway.
There you go.
Oops.
Oops. But playing roller like in San Jose, right? Playing roller in California in general, right? Florida. I went to St. Louis. They had like the tournament in St. Louis recently. Like me and Lang, Nick Lang in Long Island, we played Troy Terry, like at that rink. We beat him back in the day. He was younger, obviously. That's our claim to fame. But I think we beat them like 4-2. At the time, it was like, Team New York. I think it was like, it might have been juniors, back in the day. So that was really cool to like play a guy who's now making 8-9 sheets a year. Like that was pretty cool. And played in Cincinnati too, Cincinnati, Ohio. That was a little wild. I didn't expect it to be so fun. Played in Toronto, North Carolina, where the boys are from. And just to get to travel and you meet, like, it's a big community. I remember back in the day, anybody who's watching this will remember, like, back in 04, 05, 06, like State Wars, it was a big thing to, like, bring your state pin. and like trade with other states. And then like my mom had like a whole like shirt with like pins. She's all, I got Hawaii. Like she's hanging out with the Hawaii parents. And then, you know, we played like Arkansas, and then like you hear like the accents, and like that was really cool. So State Wars really came a long way, man, from, you know, almost like just a couple tournaments to now some of the biggest events in roller hockey, you know, the biggest event, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, but you look at it too, though. It's like, as big as it's become, it's kind of left behind some nice traditions.
Yeah,
I mean, like the pins, right? I mean, the pins are sweet. If the states come with pins and they're able to trade them off, I mean, you look at, you know, bringing up soccer again, right? When you go and you play, you usually have a banner, you hand it over to the team. Hey, like, hey, we played you, cool. You know, maybe a jersey swap. But yeah, I mean, like you go and like you collect the pins. You're like, hey, you know, we played you last year. Like, look at the pin, man. Like, cool.
That's what it's all about. I was really you take it for granted, man. You really do.
Yeah.
You know, you blink. Like I blinked and I went from 12 years old to like 30, dude. I'm like, what happened? You know, what's going on here?
Old as hell now.
Yeah, dude. I'm like, I'm considered a vet. I'm like, what? That's brutal. But
well, if you go play in the 30 plus, then you're a rookie again.
Bro, I don't want to play that league ever again. I think I'm more of like a 4-on-4. Let's throw it back. Let's go get a bite to eat with the puck behind the net. I don't need two guys who just came off a 9-to-5, chasing me down, ready to eat me in totality. I mean, these guys are nuts.
Well, you see, like, you know, tours, everything that has 30, 35 plus. These guys are mostly the pros.
Yeah. Dude, I'm done. I'm over here to have a good time, not play these guys like Greg Thompson. Guy still got it. Guy just turned 40 and he can put me in a blender.
Yeah, I mean, you look at these tournaments, right? I mean, only a couple of them have 30 plus. The 35 plus is stacked, right? You have 30 in tours. You got 30 plus tier 1 stacked, right? I mean, you always have to go up against a car shield team.
Where did these guys even come from? Like, they're nasty. I update. Yeah, I update. Like I like, you know, you're scrolling through Instagram. It's like, oh, car shield. I'm like, wow, these guys are nuts. I think that's George Brown's team or something like that.
For pro, yeah,
pro, yeah. He used to do like tour excitement and stuff like back in the day. That was like really cool. Like, I remember Long Island guys would know this name, John and Jesse Petito. They were nasty, dude. Another two brothers who just like had it, you know, and they were playing like, you know, those big divisions, right? The pro and whatnot, playing for George, tour excitement. But crazy, man. Roller hockey, it kind of changed my life, as corny as it sounds. You know, it's kind of an escape now, you know, to get to the ring, play it skate safe, but also like it kind of guided me into like the person I am today with like the people that you associate yourself with, you know, and it's a big community. You know, you look at the women's division. I was watching the women's division, just like me and my buddy Lang are at Chili's and we're like, you know, we're watching these girls playing. It's just like, I've been watching Nicole Giannino. Like she plays like pro women's. Like we were friends growing up, like 2005, 2006. Like she was on that New York team, right? Or 2005, yeah. And she's still killing it, you know? So like, you know, you have like friends like that for like that play that, you know, that higher level, and then, you know, you're still cool with them. So that's really cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
what
I mean,
do you want to see happen? Oh, go ahead, Dan.
No, go.
Oh, I just want to know, because Dan, you and I talk about this all the time. We talk about it with a lot of guests. Like, what do you think it would take to get roller up to that level where there's like a scene that can get us to the Olympics, and also that puts pro at a larger or more broad league rather than just the classic like tournament series?
Well, you need funding. You know, you need kind of like the roller hockey community is again, as corny as it sounds, like kind of like to pull together to create maybe like an event that you have like these pro guys like mic'd up, for instance, right? And then you have like this content where who knows, like maybe you just like you follow the guy like he's in the show. Like imagine having like a 24/7 type of deal for like roller. And I'm sure people would tune in, especially if it gets like rowdy, you got characters within the game. So like that's like for me, like when I was mic'd up, I'm like, if I had like the right following, I would go viral because like the chirps that I'm throwing out here and like guys slash my stick, I'm looking at my twig, I'm like, buddy, this is the only one I got. Like, I only brought one twig here and it's an elite stick, which is unreal. Shout out to George Ugaldi. Elite sticks are unreal. Whoever plays roller needs to buy an elite stick. They are unreal. Right. So I'm like, buddy, you can't slash. He's like, you touched the goalie. I'm like, buddy, the puck was loose. Like just like little commentary like that. Like that would like go a long way. And then having like actual, like an actual, like video feed of like these games, not like just one camera, like on top of the rink, camera behind the net, like a camera here, a camera there, and just like really diving deeper maybe into these pro guys' lives. And then, maybe hopefully sponsorships start paying, guys only make what, 20 grand, 25 grand for winning pro. They should be making a lot more, That's like, to me, it's like, yeah, great. I got to split 25 grand with 12 guys or 14 guys. It's like, what are we talking about here? So, but who am I to say? Who am I to talk? Well, I'm over here sandbagging it in single A.
You had a good idea, though, right? I mean, you got to talk to your buddies at Wheel Talk. Mic up PJ for a tournament or even just a complete summer for all three tournaments, right? Follow him around. Create like a little mini docu-series. And you got something.
Look, you put a camera on Tardino again, I mean, that guy, it's over. You're going viral, bud.
Well, I don't know if he wants to be in the spotlight that much, though.
You need to get him on here. I'm going to tell him after this pod. I'm like, buddy, you need to go see my boys. All right, over at
We'd appreciate it. We kind of reach out to him, and he's always like, "I'm not allowed to. I'll get canceled."
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Or at first when we first started, like, hey man, like we, join us on the pod. And he's like, sorry, I can't talk to you. It's against my contract. Talk to my agent.
He's unreal. He's so unreal. He's, I could talk about him for days, but he doesn't have what I got. I got the Narch top 10 clip of all time.
Okay.
All right. 1-on-3 on a penalty kill. My back is still hurting. Okay. From that move. Went through 3 guys, picked up the biscuit, went 5-hole. And you can see at the end of the video, I'm holding my back. It's actually because I'm in pain. But nowadays, I'm like, I was holding a team on my back, And I told the best part about the whole thing is Etan Shavera, who's still very active in the roller hockey community, right? Still playing pro. The guy's a machine. I love that guy. If he sees this, Etan, I love you, dude. I always will. He comes to me. He's like, I'm going to tape your game. I'm like, buddy. Just tape me. No reason to tape anybody else. Just tape me here. I'm going to give you a show. And it was like, I think it was the second period, right? Only playing 2 periods at that time. 15, 20 minutes, not even stop. And we were on the penalty count. I'm like, I got to go through everybody here. He's taping. I got to give this a shot. And I elbowed one guy. If you look at the video, if you ever play the video, I like elbowed one guy, like took the biscuit away from him, walked one guy, and then I put it in the net. I'm like, oh, he's got that on camera. He's got it. And it's been like an ongoing joke. Like Narch has posted it like, a number of times. Wheel Talk Hockey's posted it. Like that was like the claim to fame, like he's good, but he doesn't have that.
I love it, man. Yeah, I just played it underneath you right then, so it's
unreal.
On screen.
Unreal, man. It was. I mean, like I would literally go out and like, if I was trying to like, pick up a girl, I'd be like, oh, hey, check out this highlight. This guy's in the show. He's unreal. She's like, oh my God, really? I'm like, yeah, of course. We're like, oh, it's me. It's me. That's good old Gonz there. But
I love it.
that was
You know,
unreal, man.
your excitement about that, and you're right. I mean, the content, having those types of clips, being able to showcase how sick roller can be, is great for the sport. And stuff like that. Why isn't it on ESPN?
Should be.
Why don't we have
top 10?
Why don't we have clips like that? I mean, they put stuff that's way less entertaining in my.
You got Little League. You got Little League on there.
Okay, how many dunks have we seen on ESPN Weekly?
That's true.
It's the same thing over and over again.
Dunking's pretty cool, but when you're 6'8", you better be able to dunk on somebody. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I do every now and then. I do enjoy a guy getting jammed over top of, right? But a guy gets it down low and he just double jams it, and it's like, yeah, you're 6'8", dude. Like, you pulled the rim down. You didn't have to jump.
Yeah.
Or I got another one for you guys there. I don't know if you got the video of the Tom Hughes breakaway specialist, man. That's a big name. And not a big name, but he's not gonna like that one. He played for like Portland like back in the day, but this guy, he sent us a clip to like one of his buddies and like got around. He was playing like men's league ice. It's an unreal clip. You guys should post this once a week. And he like pushes the puck like too far and tries to like gain speed, and then like he can't catch up to the puck and like hits the boards. His twig goes flying. He's like holding his shoulder. That clip, I sent that to you guys because it's the funniest thing I've ever seen. It's unbelievable.
It's not letting me pull it up now, but I'll throw it in and post.
It's the greatest thing ever. If you guys want to copyright it, take it, ride with it. If Tommy sees that, he'll be like, "Oh, don't post that, buddy. Come on, that's a tough look for me." Oh my God, it was unreal. It's the funniest thing ever. He might have broke his shoulder. I shouldn't even be laughing. He might have injured himself.
Damn. I mean, hockey is a dangerous sport. We get cruising out there. Boys, other sports, people aren't moving 12, 15, 16, 17, 18 miles an hour. Hockey, they are, though. And you go straight into the boards that fast, that doesn't feel good.
Buddy, if you play the clip when you see it, he pushes the biscuit like too far and like he's like chasing it, like, and he just smokes the boards. I couldn't believe it. I still, that clip is like 6 years old. I still watch it today just to get a laugh.
How much time do you have to get out and watch games that aren't your own?
Like at a tournament, you have more time, right? Because you're there.
Sure.
As far as like, and when you're injured, obviously you have a lot of time. But like it all goes back to like, again, like being like one big family. Like if there's a tournament at Skate Safe, everybody's coming by. Guys who aren't playing, guys who are injured, and then like you see guys like used to play with like in the early 2000s, like holy smokes, how's the family, how's this, and then you have guys who are playing in the tournament, like you're watching the boys, they're ripping it up, and then it's just, again, with that Skate Safe, they just, I think they signed like another like 5-year deal to like keep the building because I think they were gonna like lose the building or something, like something crazy. But they saved it, and like it just goes back, like it's a big family, man.
Yeah, it's glad to hear because we did hear that there was potentially something going to happen. So glad to hear that they did sign, a contract to stay open even longer because we don't need any more rinks closing down.
Nah, it's not good for the game.
No. Economy keeps getting crazy and things keep getting more expensive. Well, those buildings and those time slots get more and more expensive. So it's either you're paying, 2 mortgages just to play hockey.
It's expensive, man. Especially ice. I couldn't play ice back in the day. It was just too expensive. It's ridiculous, but.
Well, and that's why, people need to, especially younger kids now, need to look at roller as an option because it's still it's a great option to go to in the off season. Why stop playing? Okay, you go to a couple ice clinics in the summer in the off season. Why not just play roller hockey? You're gonna get if the same workout, if not better, because you're gonna work on your hands and your body shift, your body movement, and everything like that. Because you got to be shifty in roller hockey.
I totally agree, man. I mean, for me, even playing at a lower level of hockey, like my hands going from roller to ice were there, So when I was, controlling the ice biscuit, felt good, and you had those hands. But like guys who actually take the hockey seriously, you should play roller. You should play both. Look at Bedard. He was ripping it up over the summer. I think it was last summer, like playing roller and just working on his shot.
Yeah.
And like if guys are, if guys are playing roller, it can help out the game. You're moving your body in different ways too. Like you said. So
yeah,
it goes a long way.
Personal experience for me, I never had hands growing up. I was I was a power forward, grinding in the corners, and they didn't have the rule yet that if you just kept jamming the puck and you pushed the goal over the line, it wasn't a goal. No. That was my go-to. You go into the wraparound, you start jamming at the pad, and eventually it's over. You celly hard, right? And then that was my go-to. That and just sitting in front of the crease and just getting those dirty goals.
That's like, yeah. I'm sorry.
It's just like I ended high school and travel ice hockey. I took like a year off or 2 years, and then I got a call to play juniors, and I went back playing ice hockey. And I was like, I have okay hands now. Like this is crazy.
This works. This works. You remind me of our buddy over here in Long Island, Nick Walker. Same thing, playing himself right in front of the net. He'd sucker a guy. I remember he ran a guy over. I'll never forget this. We're playing it's like 9:15 in the morning. All right. We're in PA. I think it was the old PA rink that ended up closing down. I can't remember. Feasterville. It was in Feasterville. Yeah. A lot of guys remember
that rink we have?
Yeah.
I think we have the rink, don't we, Dan?
No. That's Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, in Pittsburgh, yeah. So, or PA, yeah. So he ran a guy, and immediately he ran him over. Like the guy was like on the ground. I'm like, oh my God. Looks over to the ref. No call. He's like, I caught him clean. Yeah, buddy, we're playing roller. Walk, daddy. So unreal.
We got a question for you in the chat.
Yeah.
Victoria asked, what was your favorite memory in all of your hockey career? Would you go back and do something different if you're in your career if you had the chance?
If I had to go back, it would probably be – that's a good question, actually. It'd probably be taking Derek Kern used to give me private lessons. He played for Team USA. He still plays, right? He just was overseas with the 45 and over guys, I think. And I had Tuesdays and Thursdays with him. Okay. And we were just training. And at the time, I didn't really take it seriously, because I'm younger. But that could have definitely helped out a lot. My dad was paying $65, $70 every Tuesday and Thursday, going back to the parents sacrificing. So I probably would have taken maybe the training a little more seriously. But again, we're riding pine, we're the locker room guy here, we'll put the puck in the net here and there, but I don't think how hard I trained, I don't think I would have made the show,
Okay.
Thanks, Victoria.
Your favorite moment?
Shut up, Victoria. Favorite moment? Probably, honestly, coming back and playing with the young guys, because I had a serious back injury. Spinal stenosis, like what David Wright has for the Mets, when he played. So I got the spinal stenosis going, my L5 is ruined, 3 herniated, bulging discs, all from hockey, right? So coming back from that, training with I was training with this personal trainer, and I was doing workouts on skates. I could actually send it to you guys after. I was working out, doing different movements and kind of balancing. And I ended up losing 25 pounds, came back last year and just ripped it. We played State Wars twice, we won gold, sandbagging that. won a couple like men's league titles at Skate Safe, you know, just to be back on the rink. It's the best feeling ever. So I guess coming back from a serious injury, and now, you know, I'm in another predicament now with a knee, but you just keep on going, you know?
That's awesome, man. I think for like, you know, that's a good place to stop, you know, because I want to end it on a positive note. And we appreciate you being here. And in the future, we're going to be doing, you know, cause some like panel stuff, try to introduce some new stuff through the channel and through No Offsides. And we're going to be contacting you about it.
Definitely, man. I'd love to be on again. I got stories for days. I had like 4 or 5 pages of just like different stories, and I just like, we're just letting it fly. So I got a lot more for the boys when we get back on.
Sounds good, man. Well, we Gonzo, we enjoyed you very much, dude. Like probably the most like one of the best episodes of me just laughing and having like my stomach hurting from laughing so much. I can't thank you enough, dude.
Always, man. Guys, thanks for having me. Thanks the fans for voting me on, you know. Shout out to fans.
Yeah,
shout out to the lone question in the group. Appreciate that. That was nice. But shout out Real Talk, No Offsides podcast. Follow, subscribe. Let's rock and roll, boys.
There you go. And Gonzo, when you get back on the rink, you know, when you're forechecking, don't let up because there's no offsides in roller, buddy. I'm Dan Dean.
Yeah, definitely.
Gonzo, thank you very much, dude. Appreciate you.
All right, boys. Cheers.
Later.
Peace.
No offside.